Hello. So I had seen that there's been people asking for tips on how to submit ILs or bosses with an overlaid timer in post because LiveSplit doesn't normally match up with the rules for ILs because it's usually about fade in and fade out rather than what LiveSplit finds. So I thought I'd show off what I've been doing in Vegas because some people seem to like what I've been doing and it might help. So my Vegas setup is done in 4 tracks. The first track is the timer, the second track is the coloured overlay, third track is the video, and the fourth track is the audio. These coloured overlays are just boxes, so you can see this one's blue, this one's red, and this one's green. I just use that to cover up the live split time so that there's no confusion over which timer is being used. These starting and ending clips are actually just text files. These are text files that I could edit to be whatever I want them to be. So obviously the first one is 0000 and the final one is whatever the final time is, and I'll show how I figure that out in a minute. But the magic happens here in this middle one. This is another text file, but this is actually blank. So in Vegas you create a timer by having a blank text file and then applying effects to it. So if you've not got Vegas and you've got something different, you might have this, you might also have a slightly different way of getting to it. For me, it's go to media effects, add media effects, and add Vegas timecode. Say, have a play around with your own video editor, see if you've got something similar. From here, I can then add the time. I mean, if I really want to, I can change it so it only shows seconds. You can see that here. Time and frames. It looks a bit odd because this is actually cropped down. With time, it will go hours, minutes, seconds. And then it actually goes to 3 decimal places, but because we don't submit the 3rd decimal place on a time, I've cropped this down. I've applied a mask to it. I'll show you one here. So here is the mask that I've applied to it, so that it's only showing that. If I remove that, you'll see that it's actually, if I have to go to there we go. So if I remove that mask, you can see that it's actually showing a lot more, but that mask then hides anything that I don't want it to see. So it's only for me, it's only showing minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. So I actually have another clip of Raven ready to go, so I'll show you how I do that. So let's delete this M1 tank clip, move this Raven clip into position. So the real-time actual rules for most of the bosses are that they start on the first frame in of fade in. So we need to find the first fade in frame. Just go forward. Oh, there it is. So go back until we hit the very first frame, and there it is. So that is the very first frame that the fight starts. So from there, move these back down so that only starts there. Move the timer. Don't extend the timer, because if you extend the timer, it will wrap around. Now you can see that it's at 2 minutes 28. Let's go back to the start of the timer, so it's at 0. Move the timer over there, and that's where the timer will start. We'll move the red box there as well. And then for the final frame, what we need to do is we need to find the final frame where the HUD fades out, because in most bosses the RTA rules are that it is when the HUD, so the life, weapons, radar, etc., fade out. So we're gonna go and find, oh, I was actually there straight away. So it's important that you don't go with this frame, you go with the first frame where they are gone, because between here and here you've still got 1 frame of gameplay. This is the frame where the gameplay is ended. Then what you want to do is don't just move the timer up to the end there, because you'll see that it doesn't, for me at least, it doesn't appear because it's already ended. So what I do is I go over the top of it, and that tells me what the time is on the end of the final frame, the start of the first frame where the time is ended, and it's 28 seconds, 76 milliseconds. So I'm going to go over to my final timer here and change that to 28:76 so that it matches. I'm then going to shorten that down so it disappears again. So if you actually go back 1 frame, it's actually now 28:74, but that's fine, because then when we move it along and we move our final frame along, 28:76, and it matches up. Move the red one so that it matches up there. Green one so it matches up there. Extend that so that it gets to the end of the video. And extend that to the end of the video. And then you have, and hopefully this will play whilst recording, because it takes up a lot of memory to run these, but we'll see. It might look a little choppy, but timer starts as soon as we fade in. Fight plays out. Grab the Nikita. Yada yada yada. Wait for blinking lights. Pow pow pow. Raven GME can't hurt me. Hardy hardy har. And one more shot. And as soon as it fades out, 28.76. I hope this helps.